Is the Andrew Yang's policy to get UBI, to get universal basic income, is it a scam? Does it make sense? This is part 3, by the way. And before I even get to one of my foundings, right, because I found a way that if he does win by some magical, like, crazy thing, because you never really know, if he does win, right, imagine if he wins and he actually gives you that $1,000. I actually found a way that you can take that money and actually get so much money from it by investing it. It's insane, okay? I'm talking about $11 million worth of money, okay? So if you want to hear how to actually do that, just stick around to the end of the video, or just skip to the end of the video and you'll actually find out. Now, for every single person that's here from the last video that I made, you guys noticed something, right? It wasn't the most receptive video, and you guys are probably telling me, Tommy, why are you making a third video about this? It's because I love trilogies, okay? But aside from that, I really wanted to clarify a few things. Now, the video obviously wasn't that receptive, and for all the 11 people that actually liked the video, well, both videos together, I want to give you guys a clap, okay? Because you guys are brave, all right? But here's my thing, right? The video got over 100 dislikes, right? But more than that, the video got a lot more comments, okay? And that was my goal, to actually spark some conversation. Now, every single person out there started with negative conversations, like, oh my gosh, you got this wrong. Oh my gosh. By the way, the only thing that people said I got wrong was basically his last name, because in the video it sounds like I said Young, but I actually said Yang, okay? But it was just like in a Chinese accent. So I just want to clarify that, okay? Well, here's my thing, right? It actually started very good, productive conversation. Some people started out by cursing. Then when I stepped in, I said, yo, nobody's actually going to take you serious if you just curse, okay? Then people started being more polite. People actually started having conversations. And this is what I got, right? There were people from all over the world, okay? People from outside of America, people from the left side, people from the right side, people from the middle side. And I got to see an entire perspective. And the entire perspective, the big picture that I got, is that everyone is concerned about people, okay? And that's one of the most important things. Now, I don't want to get all, like, emotional and be like, oh, no, people matter so much. Like, it's all about the people. That's not what I want to talk about, okay? But a lot of people out there were telling me, Tommy, you don't get it. $1,000 is going to help people like crazy, and it's actually going to help. And you might say education is key, and I get that, but it's not the only thing. People need more money. And here's my thing, right? Someone actually commented and said, Tommy, I'm not an economist, okay, but I am a consumer, and I can tell you this, I guarantee it, that the average person is going to take that money, they're going to save a percentage of it, and then they're going to spend the rest to actually help themselves up, okay? Now, here's my thing to that person. I wish it was true, all right? I don't know why I wouldn't wish it was true. I wish it was true. I wish every single person had a savings account. I wish every single person was an investor. But the truth is that every single person out there isn't. The truth is that there's a small minority of people that are investors, that do save money, okay? It's a very small percentage, by the way. And here are the statistics to that, okay? 69% of Americans have less than $1,000 saved up. 34% of Americans don't have a savings account. 60 million households have a negative net worth, okay? The average household in America owes like around $5,700 in personal debt, okay? And there's one more statistic that I actually want to talk about. Before I even get to the statistic, though, I want to tell you guys this, right? When I say these statistics, I'm not talking about the poor people that live below poverty, okay? I'm talking about the regular middle-class people, upper-class people also, because they're inside of the statistic also. Remember I said 64%? Poverty level is only like around 14, maybe 25% max in America, okay? Around 40-something million people, all right, that earn over, like, I think it's like they earn less than $13,000 a year. That's like below poverty. Here's my thing, guys. That's not all the people I'm talking about. So how can you explain to someone that makes over $50, $60, $80,000 a year, they're in debt, they don't know what's going on? How do you explain that? Is that $1,000 going to help them? No, it's not. You know why? Because the answer isn't the money. And I wish it was. I wish everything was like, oh, here's $1. Now you're not homeless. Here's $1. Now everything is fixed. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all, all right? Here's one more statistic that I want to share with you guys, okay? And this is where my entire point actually goes into. Now, here it is. There's something called out there. It's a very good book, and they did very good studies on this, okay? It's called The Millionaire Next Door. And there's a series of those books that are actually very good and very informative. So I recommend you guys read that before you start commenting, because a lot of people commented without watching the entire video. And for those people, when I commented back, you didn't respond because you didn't really have any facts. And for the people that did comment back, I love those productive conversations. I love those comments, okay? But here's that book, right? In that book, they actually do studies on the average millionaire in America, right? 1 in 5 millionaires in America, by the way, it is growing like crazy. There's millionaires in America every single year now. Well, here's this, right? The average millionaire in America, 1 in 5 have a regular job that's a 9 to 5, all right? So how do you explain this? How do you explain that 64% of people don't have any money, but they're like in the middle class? But what about the people that are in the middle class and then they're millionaires, okay? How do you explain that? Well, how you explain that is by actually one little thing that actually makes everything actually tick, right? It didn't matter for those people that are millionaires that if they went to college, if they went to high school, if they didn't even have a high school education, none of those factors mattered, okay? The main factor that didn't matter was financial IQ, all right? And what I mean by this, it means that those people knew about finance, knew what an asset was, knew what a liability was, and knew how to actually help themselves out. Now, this is my entire thing, okay? Because a lot of people commented and told me, Tommy, I get that, but you don't get it, all right? Because Andrew Yang is actually offering free counseling, optional counseling for people that need financial help. Here's my thing. I don't think it should be optional. I think that every single person that wants to be really upfront about, by the way, opting in for this entire thing to receive $1,000, but I think a lot of people will want that $1,000, okay? For every single person that wants to opt into that, there should be required to get like a 3-month financial course on how to actually manage their personal finance and actually create a budget for their current finances and actually try to fix it before they actually get that $1,000. Why? Here's my thing. You can't just throw money at the problem and expect it to be fixed, right? If I could walk around with $10,000 every single day and be like, here, now you're not homeless. Haven't you noticed that people that are in financial trouble, you give them a bunch of money and then next year they don't have any money? And by the way, this is a very vague example and I like simplicity. People that over explain things and try to make it like super advanced, they don't have a very good comprehensive problem of the entire picture. That's why they use that's why they use such large language. And that's something that my PhD personal finance professor actually taught me, okay? I just want to explain that, right? That's why you see people every single year, like most people receive like a tax credit, right? They get like $9,000, $6,000 from the government, and you see every single person invest by buying something. 3 months later, you go to them and you be like, oh, what happened with that money? What did you do with it? Oh yeah, I spent it. I don't have it anymore. You get a little bit more money, you just get more bills. And that's the main issue that I want to fix, okay? So there's one state, by the way, some people actually told me, Tommy, you don't get it. Okay, I think in Finland they have this entire thing in place, and they also have it in place in Alaska. Okay, people told me, oh, you don't get it. All right, people in Finland do this, people in Alaska do this. Now, the first thing I do want to say, guys, is that if you don't know anything about Finland, and the only thing you want to use is this entire thing, is that the Finland educational system is beyond the American one, okay? There's been documentaries on this. Like, they have one of the best educational systems in the world, all right? So for you to be telling me, oh, education isn't important, just throw money at the problem, everything's gonna be fixed, that's not true, okay? And I guarantee to you that it's not true. By the way, there's another state, no, well, not state, there's another place, another country, another island, I don't know what it is, okay? It's called Singapore. In Singapore, parents are actually required when their kids hit like middle school, I think, maybe even before that, to actually create a savings account for their kids and actually teach their kids how to save money. So by the time their kids actually graduate, they already have a massive savings accounts. Well, even if it's not massive, they already have a record of money being invested into them. So when they come out, they can actually get credit and stuff like that because it's very cool. All right. So finance and fixing the issue, the core problems, isn't a bad thing. All right. And I saw this overlining like effect on people, okay? Every single person that commented, which I appreciated, okay? I saw people from the left, people from the right, people from the middle, and the big picture that I saw, because I read everything, okay? I read every comment. The big picture that I saw is that people are just concerned for people, okay? People are worried, AIs are coming in, truckers, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs like they have been for a very long time, okay? And by the way, every single person out there that watched that Joe Rogan interview with him, I saw it too, okay? You guys aren't telling me anything brand new, all right? Here's the thing. When AI comes in, right, for this trucking industry, right, what the AI is going to do actually is take care of those long distance routes that most truckers don't even like doing because it takes them away from their families. Okay, but when it comes to the city lines, those AI trucks are actually going to be doing a pit stop, and then people are actually going to get in and then drive it to the city, right? Those are close routes, and people can actually stay with their families and actually still have a job. Now, for every single person out there that's looking like beyond the future and telling me, Tommy, I get that. But by the way, this is a documentary that was done by ABC News. You can actually look it up yourself if you are interested. And here's the thing. People that are telling me, Tommy, I get that. But you see Tesla and you see all these companies that are actually inventing things to actually drive into the city lines. I get that too, man. And eventually it will become obsolete, And it sucks, but it is true. And that's how the world works. People need to move forward. And here's my thing. For every single person out there is telling me, oh, Tommy, these truckers need to start learning how to code, blah, blah, blah. it's so messed up. Okay, it's not cool. I don't appreciate that at all. But I do appreciate something, right? I appreciate advances. Okay, in life and in society is like very important, you know. And the more advanced things get, the better people are actually off. Okay, because every advance in the world and society is actually for the betterment of people and the betterment of businesses, and businesses only really better their products so they can better the customer. Okay, if you take a look at finance like that, you'll always see that it's going to benefit you in some way. Now here's my thing. I saw a lot of concern for people that are in disability that won't be receiving the UBI. People said, oh my gosh, Tommy, they should still receive it on top. I kind of do agree with it, you know, because a lot of people that are disabled, and by the way, guys, I live like I can put myself in people's shoes like crazy, okay? Because in the place that I live, I see a lot of people out here that are scummy. People that have been in disability for years, but you see them walking up and down with no issues. And they actually admit that I'm disability and I don't need it, okay? And I see a bunch of people out there that are scummy, that just say, I just want food stamps. I just want to live in the shelter. And if I get $1,000 extra, that's great. I'll spend it on drugs, okay? And then I see people out there that are really disabled, you know, really have a rough time, really don't make enough money. And that sucks. You know, and I don't really want to worry about the scummy people, because that's a small percentage of people. That's a small percentage of those people that actually suck that much. Okay, so I want to worry about the other people. For the people out there that are worried about, well, I don't want those people to lose their benefits. They won't lose their benefits because it's an opt-in feature. If it does become a standard, right? And by the way, someone actually suggested something that's very crazy, very innovative and stuff like that. They actually said, Tommy, what do you think about this? Okay, because I really like productive conversation, as you guys can tell. They actually said, Tommy, what do you think if, for example, like they increased the UBI every single year, but also decreased the benefits by the same amount, right? And it's kind of like getting to a point where the UBI is high enough to the point that you don't need benefits, right? And the danger in that is that, well, once you get people across the poverty line, well, what forces them to actually get a regular job? Because you're going to give it to everyone, right? And then that conversation got kind of complicated, right? And it didn't make sense after a point. And then someone hopped in and said, well, I'd rather get this UBI and not have to work anymore. Let the robots do the work. And I'm like, bro, it doesn't work like that, okay? That's just a big bubble. You know, if the robots are doing all the work and then you're just receiving money, then the government is just printing money for no efforts, then how does that work? And by the way, someone actually made a very interesting point, right? And it's that I think people are trying to get the minimum wage up to like $15. And there's actually saying that with the entire Andrew Yang policy that won't be needed anymore. Like, you know, because people are going to receive more money, thus like you don't need to increase the entire minimum wage. Thus small pops and businesses like won't be put out of business because they can't afford it. All right, and that did make some sense. There's a lot of different theories out there. There's a lot of different conversations, and I really did achieve my goal, which was to spark more conversation. I guarantee you that every single person that commented on that video left the YouTube channel or the algorithm learning something brand new. And that was my main focus. Now, for the part that you guys have all been waiting for, which is how to actually make $11 million if you just invested the UBI, okay? Now, here's how it works. I actually did some digging, okay? Because you guys know I love ACORN. ACORN is like an app that you can actually invest your money in. You can invest like spare change. You can invest $5, $2, $1. It doesn't really matter, okay? By the way, if you sign up using my link in the description, you get $5 for free, and I also get $5. Pure transparency, okay? Now, here's the thing. I actually saw that if you invest $1,000, right? And by the way, remember that every single person is going to get UBI, Universal Basic Income. Every single person that gets that, they're going to start at age 18, okay? So if they get that from age 18 and they were actually like saved up that money instead of using it for the next, let's say 50 years, and they reinvested all the money, by the time they turn like, let's say 18 plus 50, that's 68. Well, they're going to have around $11 million. Yeah, it's crazy in investments, okay? And on top of that, they're going to be getting around $24,000 just in dividend payments, right? That they can actually live off for, okay? Now, you're probably asking me, Tommy, that makes sense, okay? That's great, but the average person isn't going to save their money for 50 years and just like struggle, okay? And that's why I'm saying that education is such a big factor, because if people were actually educated in financial IQs, then that wouldn't really be a big problem. Because most people, when you ask them, well, what are you spending all your money on, okay? Where is this money going to? The average person, and I guarantee you this, guys, because I have like clients that I teach finance to and actually help them make budgets, and most of them tell me, I don't know. I just don't keep track of it. It just leaves. I just know that I don't have enough. And when I start breaking things down for them and I say, well, every single day you're spending $5 here, $10 here, $15 here, $20 here, that's where the money is going to. And they're like, wow, okay? So you're telling me if I did this and I did that, then I would have more money at the bank in the end of the year? Yeah, you would have money. You can save money for your retirement. You can save money for your investments. You're going to save money for everything and still have fun whenever you want to. And that's my main focus. I just want to tell people that, it is possible to save money and spend money and do it all at once. And for every single person that's telling me out there, Tommy, it doesn't make sense for you to tell people just to save all their money and not spend it. How's the economy gonna be injected? And for those people, I have to say this, right? I'm not telling every single person out there not to spend their money. Warren Buffett spends money on Coca-Cola and McDonald's all the time. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. And he has like a jet or whatever. Okay. Just because you're affluent, just because you have a lot of money, doesn't mean you're not going to spend any money. I'm not telling people to be cheapskates, okay? People that make a lot of money usually make even bigger investments. They spend more money in society in better ways, okay? So that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there needs to be a balance, because you don't need to spend money, all of your money, just to inject into society. You can actually keep some of that money. So by the time you reach that old age, okay? And every single person out there told me, Tommy, you got to help these people that are 50 and 60 because, they have memory issues and they just can't be retrained to actually learn a new job. I get that, right? But let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you something that's very, very, very interesting, right? If I have a job, okay, I went to college, I have a bachelor's in accounting, and if I had a job, which I don't have a job because I chose to start my own business, if I had a regular job, I would have been getting $60,000 a year, okay? And it would have took me around 16 years to actually make $1 million, to actually earn $1 million. That's when I said, I don't want to do this, okay? I don't want to do this, all right? But if I had saved around $500 a month of that money for the next 10 years, 20 years, do you know how much money I would have saved up? Okay? No one teaches you this. So by the time you reach 50 or 60, you're supposed to have such a big nest egg of money, okay? You're supposed to have maybe over 500, maybe over $1 million saved up. So if you lose your job goes obsolete, you don't give a flying heck, okay? You don't care because you have enough money to actually live off, okay? And here's my thing. For every single person out there telling me, Tommy, I'm not going to wait until I'm 70 or 60 or 80 to actually start living my life. I'm not telling you to do that. Okay, because you're obviously, whatever, by the way, every single person that's saying that and is living paycheck to paycheck right now, you need to ask yourself, well, what you're doing right now isn't working. So you might as well just try something new. So here's some information that I do want to share before I actually leave this video, okay? So listen to this, right? Listen to this, right? Because this is very important, right? So if you started investing at my age, right, and you were putting away $500 every single month to an investment account, all right? I'm saying this very slowly so you guys can actually understand what I'm saying. That's around $6,000 a year. If you were doing that, by the time you hit 40, right, that's 18 years later, all right? That's what I'm saying. 18 years later of putting down $6,000 every year consistently, you would have an approximately savings of around $322,000 saved up already for you. That money would produce for you every single month around $675 passive, right? Me personally, by the time I hit 60 or maybe 50 years old, right? Let's say 60. Right? I'm going to have this much money if I were just putting around $6,000, okay? I'm going to have this much money. By the time I turn 60 and I've been investing $6,000 every single year, I'm going to have around $2,100,000 saved up, all right, in my investment account, all right? And that money is going to pay me every single month around $4,940, all right? That sounds good, right? So what I'm saying is this, right? If people actually live below their means, that's called living frugally, right? One in five millionaires in America that have a regular job, day to day, 9 to 5 do. If you do that, then by the time you turn 50 to 60, it doesn't matter if your job goes obsolete. And let me tell you something, right? I don't necessarily agree that a person beyond 50 should even be working anymore. All right, maybe they should have some type of work, but not in the same job for for the rest of their lives. Okay, I don't agree with the entire system of retire when you're in your 80s. I don't agree with that either. Okay, so what I'm saying is, what if by the time you turn 50, all right, by the time you turn 50, you are financially free? Maybe even by the time you turn 30 or 40, you're financially free. What would you actually invest your time in? All right, what's the job that you would actually want to do? Okay, and if the society actually invested more in education and teaching people financial freedom and investing money and doing all these things, I think the economy would flourish, not short term with this $1,000, but actually long term. And if you give people $1,000, then this is just a bonus. Okay, it's just a bonus. I don't think people should get $1,000 to take them out of trouble without any information, because they just get right back into trouble. But if they just have that information, right, and they get a hand on themselves, and plus they get $1,000. This is a bonus. Okay, that's great, awesome. I'm getting more money. I get to save more money, and I get to spend more money on things that I love. But okay, it's not a big deal. It's not going to affect my life that much, okay? So that's really what I want to say, guys. Thank you for watching this video. This is the finale of this video, and I probably will make more videos like as the elections come closer and closer and closer, but about different candidates and what they actually have to offer. For Andrew Yang, I basically decided, like, this is what I think about the entire thing. This is what the policy I want to focus on, because that's what his entire press run is on. And for like Donald Trump or Hillary or whoever else is running, like, I'll focus on those people too, but like later on. Okay, because this is a financial channel, it's personal finance, and my job here is to spark conversation, to actually teach people other things, and to actually get started in their lives, okay? By the way, like I say in every video, information is key, information is everything. By the way, guys, what do you think that, you know, kids that are from affluent parents that have like great, like their parents are rich or whatever, and they have like great access to education, what do you think they all end up being like lawyers and like great bankers and like going to Columbia College? Is all access to education, okay? That's why the average person that is in the Bronx in like one of these public schools, they don't end up being much, okay? And the reason is because it's not the same level, it's not the same education. Why instead of giving, why don't let me not even say that. That's a crazy idea, okay? I'll see you guys next time on the next video. Well, okay, I'll say it. What if instead of giving people $1,000, what if every single person, right? Every single person had access to the same amount of education, no matter where you're from or how much money you earn. How about that? How about if I'm a kid from the Bronx that's really poor or has like parents that don't have any money, I can go to a private school in Manhattan. What about that? How would that fix things? What do you think would happen if that happens? Okay. You think the world will be the same? I don't think so. All right. Access is everything. That's why you pay money for more. That's why you pay money for better things. If you buy a TV that's $1, it's not going to do that job. If you buy a TV that's $1,000, you get 4K. That's what I want to say. Okay. I'll see you guys next time. I'll see you guys next time in the next video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like and comment. And like as always, guys, I always welcome good, productive conversations in the comments down below. So if you have anything to say, just let me know and I will comment back to you guys. I'll see you guys next time on the next video, and peace.
You've got to start